Tonight's bedtime lesson is about pollen. Now, pollen is a fine powder made of microscopic pollen grains. Its dispersion and movement in the atmosphere is of great interest to millions of hay fever sufferers around the world. Now, there are three parts to pollen, and there will be another bedtime lesson about hay fever. So, the first part about this lesson, actually, there's two parts to this lesson, is about pollen allergies. What are pollen allergies? Now, pollen is made up of tiny particles which are released by plants and trees as part of their reproductive cycle. It is an extremely fine powder and is spread by insects and the wind. Pollen can cause significant irritation and inflammation in people who are allergic to it. Pollen can be inhaled by humans and animals. For those with an allergy, pollen triggers the antibody immunoglobulin E, which creates mucus and leads to symptoms as congestion and sneezing. Now, what is hay fever? That's not the second bedtime lesson, it's just this bedtime lesson about pollen. Hay fever is the most common name for pollen allergy and is most commonly caused by grass pollens. Although other pollens could also trigger the symptoms are caused when the immune system reacts to the pollen in the body to produce histamine and other chemicals. Around 2 in every 10 people have this allergy, and it is thought that more than 10 million people in Britain suffer with hay fever. You are more likely to suffer from hay fever if you have a family history of allergies, or if you suffer from asthma or eczema. Most people develop hay fever in childhood or when they are a teenager. Also, oh golly. Oh, I gotta be quick. There we go. See if it's charging. Yes, it is. Anyway, most people develop hay fever in childhood or when they are a teenager, although it can be triggered at any age. Many people find, however, that they grow to the condition and suffer less from the symptoms of hay fever as an adult. Hay fever symptoms can include frequent sneezing, a runny or blocked nose, itchy eyes and an itchy throat, mouth, nose and ears. As a sufferer, you may also experience the loss of your sense and smell, facial pain, sweating, and headaches, although these symptoms are less common. Asthma sufferers may find that their symptoms get worse when suffering from hay fever and may experience a tight chest, shortness of breath, coughing, and wheezing. Different types of pollen. Depending on the time of year, the type of pollen in the air will be different. There are around 30 different types of pollen that cause hay fever, and it is possible to be allergic to more than one type. Most people are allergic to grass pollen, which is common in late spring and early summer. Tree pollen tends to be released during spring and affects around 25% of people. Weed pollen can be released at any time, from early spring to the late autumn. Hay fever symptoms usually appear when the pollen count, which is a measure of the number of grains of pollen in 1 cubic meter of air, exceeds 50. The weather conditions affect how much pollen is released and spread around. For example, on humid and windy days, pollen spreads easily, but on rainy days, pollen can be cleared from the air. But on sunny days, the pollen count is at its highest in the early evening, and that's when you are most likely to suffer from the symptoms. Treatments for hay fever. Unfortunately, although there is no current cure for the hay fever, most people are able to relieve their symptoms with treatment. The most effective way to prevent hay fever is to avoid exposure to pollen, but it's almost impossible, particularly during the summer months. Instead, many people rely on antihistamines, which can prevent the allergic reaction from happening, and corticosteroids, which reduce any inflammation and swelling caused by pollen allergy. Eye drops can also help. Over-the-counter treatment should be sufficient to ease your hay fever symptoms, but if you're experiencing more severe symptoms, you should speak to your GP. And our second part of this lesson is about the 10 things you should know about pollen. Number 1. In some people, there is a correlation between pollen levels and anxiety. According to the International Journal of Child Health and Human Development, high pollen levels can affect anxiety levels in people with recurrent mood disorders such as bipolar. Number 2 will shock you a bit. Your pets can get hay fever. Yes, like us, cats and dogs can also get hay fever. If you think that your pet might have any hay fever, or would like help identifying it, take a look at the pollen allergies affect you and your pets pages. You can look on the website. Number 3. The pollen season lasts longer than you think. The pollen season can start as early as January and end as late as November. Wow. Number 4 is really quick. Hay fever affects about 1 in 5 people. 5. Spiderlings eat pollen. Ooh. Although usually carnivorous, spiders feed pollen to their young. It's not known how they manage to eat it though, since their mouths are not large enough. Number 6. It can fight crime. Well, not quite. Pollen is used in forensics to determine where a person or object has been. It has even been proposed that pollen is added to the bullets to enable them to be tracked. 7. Alcohol worsens the effects of pollen. Beer, wine, and other spirits contain histamine, the chemical that sets off allergy symptoms in the body. 8. Pollen is first observed in rocks over, wait for it, 120 million years old. It is a critical component of natural selection in plants. Number 9. Rain can be bad news for hay fever sufferers. It helps the grass grow well, and if it's followed by dry weather, there will be higher levels of pollen. And finally, 10. Urban areas air quality and pollen. Urban areas tend to have lower pollen counts than the countryside, but pollen can combine with air pollution in the city centre and bring on hay fever symptoms. It's not just in the summer months either. It can peak as early as April and May. Time for our second bedtime lesson.